So these problems are going to be off of your review sheet. We're going to go over some algebraic ways to find the sides and diagonals and all that good stuff inside of a parallelogram. So with this one, this is the parallelogram ABCD, and it gives you the diagonals with the center point being E, that intersects with both diagonals. So it gives you AE equals 3x plus y, and EC equals 12. So you see that AE right here, this equals 3x plus y, and then EC equals 12. And with the other diagonal, DE equals 2x minus 3y, and then EB equals 19. Now I just went ahead and filled in what they gave us. So what they want us to do first is find x and y. Alright? Well, with the diagonals bisect each other, which splits it in half, so each of these parts of the diagonal are equal to each other. So we'll do AC first. We'll do that whole diagonal. So you have AE is equal to EC. So then you just plug in 3x plus y equals 12. Can't really find out what x and y is through there, so we'll go ahead and do DB as well. So DE is equal to EB. Then you plug in what they gave you. 2x minus 3y equals 19. And with these two equations, you're going to do a system of equations. So I'm going to go ahead and stack them. So you have 3x plus y equals 12, and then 2x minus 3y equals 19. So with this, you're going to try and eliminate. I'm doing the elimination method. So what you have to do is you have to try and find a variable to eliminate. So right now I see that the y's have different signs, which would be easy to do because you have to add them together, and that'll give you, but this will be like a subtracting. So what I'm going to do to cancel out the y's is I'm going to multiply this whole thing by 3, just like that. And so then that becomes 9x plus 3y equals 36, and the other one stays the exact same. Alright, and so you have to add those two together. So 9x plus 2x, get 11x. These cancel because you have positive 3y minus 3y, so those cancel, so you no longer have the y. And that equals 55, and so then x equals 5. Now you can use this x value and go into either this one or this one. I'll show you both ways. I'm going to go ahead and box that because that is one of the answers. So you have 3x plus y equals 12. So then this is 15. So then y becomes negative 3. I'm just going to check it with the other one to make sure they're the same. So you have 2x minus 3y equals 19. And this is 10. 19 minus 10 is 9. Divided by negative 3 will give you y to be negative 3. Because negative 3 times negative 3 equals positive 9. So that checked it. And that's what the y value is. So the x value is 5, and the y value is negative 3. Now, the last part of this question is, what property did we use? Well, we stated as we were just going through this that diagonals bisect each other, which cuts them equally in half. Makes each part of the diagonal equal. And so then to write that out, each diagonal cuts the other diagonal into 2 equal parts. And that's how we were able to put them equal to each other, and that's how we were able to get the system of equations to find what x and y were. Alright? Now, this next problem, we're going to use the same parallelogram. Alright? This time, instead of doing the sides and diagonals, we're going to do the angles. Alright? So, measure of angle BAD. is right here, BAD. So that's this whole angle right there. That's BAD. And that says it's 4x minus 20. Now measure of angle ADC is x plus 10, and which is this angle here. And they want you to find angle DCB, which is this, we'll show that they're different and not congruent, DCB, alright? Now, in a parallelogram, the opposite angles are congruent, alright? So, that's what those are. So these two are actually congruent, because that's just one of the rules. Since we know it's a parallelogram, we know that the opposite sides are congruent. Also, with the parallelogram, the two consecutive sides, which is two consecutive angles, which are side-by-side angles, equal 180 degrees. So we're going to use that. Well, if angle BAD is congruent to angle DCB, we can just use what they gave us as BAD for this angle, alright? And because, since these two are side-by-side and consecutive, they equal 180 degrees. So what I'm thinking about we're going to have to do is add both of these together and then set it equal to 180. So that is going to look like, I'll go ahead and write this part out. That's what we just said with the consecutive angles equaling 180 degrees. And we got this in here because one of the properties of parallelograms is the opposite angles are congruent. So we got this one equal and congruent to this angle. So now we're just going to plug in what they gave us up here. And because this one is equal to that, we're going to use this for the measure of angle DCB. So you have 4x minus 20 plus the measure of angle ADC, which is x plus 10. Alright? So then you get 5x minus 10, and then you add the 10 over, and you get 5x equals 190. Alright? Now to keep going, x is equal to 38. So then, since we used this for angle DCB, measure of angle DCB equals 4, the x value, which is 38, minus 20. Angle DCB is equal to 132. So now the last part is, what were the two properties that we used? Well, the first one was that since we know it's a parallelogram, we know that the opposite angles are congruent. So that was one of the properties. And that showed up right here. And the second one we did it down here, this one right here. Two consecutive sides of a parallelogram are equal to 180 degrees. And those are two review problems. Hope that helps.